All right, gather round everyone, because today we're diving headfirst into the shimmering world of Singapore. This tiny island nation has become a global powerhouse. We're going to unpack their mind-boggling economic ascent. We're talking chewing gum bans, people. Hit that subscribe button because things are about to get weird. Over the next few chapters, we'll explore Singapore's transformation into a gleaming metropolis. Now let's talk money because, let's face it, that's what makes the world go round. And Singapore? They've rigged the carousel. They've somehow managed to become the financial epicenter of Southeast Asia, attracting more banks than a dog park attracts questionable smells. We're talking big dogs here. Wall Street wolves, European finance wizards, all setting up shop in a country smaller than Rhode Island. You know those "we're open for business" mats? Someone needs to alert Singapore that they may need to order the jumbo size. But it's not just traditional banks flocking to Singapore. The place is also a hotbed for fintech startups. Imagine a petri dish filled with venture capitalists hopped up on caffeine and the promise of obscene profits. That's basically Singapore's fintech scene. So, what's the secret sauce, you ask? Well, for starters, Singapore boasts a business-friendly environment that's smoother than a freshly waxed dolphin. Low taxes, efficient regulations, and a government that seems to genuinely want businesses to thrive. It's enough to make a cynic like me question everything. But hold on, there's more. Remember those aforementioned low taxes? They pair beautifully with Singapore's political and economic stability. This isn't a country prone to sudden policy shifts or, revolutions. They're like the Volvo of nations. Reliable, safe, maybe a little bit boring, but you know exactly what you're going to get. And for investors, that predictability is incredibly attractive. It's the equivalent of finding a perfectly ripe avocado at the supermarket. A rare and beautiful thing. When global markets are doing their best impression of a roller coaster designed by a sadist, Singapore remains a beacon of calm. This stability, coupled with a highly skilled workforce and a strategic location at the heart of Southeast Asia, has cemented Singapore's place as a financial powerhouse. It's like the entire country went to some Tony Robbins seminar and emerged as a lean, mean, money-making machine. So there you have it. Singapore, the tiny island that could and did become a financial titan. And they did it all without any natural resources to speak of, unless you count the sheer willpower of its people. But we'll get to that later. Now let's talk about a number that'll make your eyes water. $70,000. No, that's not the price of a decent used car in this economy. That, my friends, is the approximate GDP per capita of Singapore. That's right, the average Singaporean is, on paper at least, rolling in more dough than a bakery after a gluten-free craze. To put that into perspective, the GDP per capita of the United States, the land of opportunity and questionable healthcare choices, is somewhere in the 60s. And don't even get me started on the UK, where they measure their wealth in lukewarm pints and the lingering hope that their football team might one day win something again. So, how did Singapore achieve this level of wealth? Well, it's not just about attracting foreign investment and businesses, although that certainly helps. It's about investing in their people, fostering innovation, and generally being really, really good at the whole capitalism thing. Singapore has long understood the importance of education. They pump money into their education system like it's going out of style, creating a highly skilled and educated workforce that can compete on a global scale. It's like they took all the best bits of Asian and Western education systems, chucked them in a blender with a side of kiasu, that's Singaporean for fear of losing, and out popped an education powerhouse. But it's not just about churning out graduates who can code in their sleep and recite economic theory backwards. Singapore also understands the importance of social mobility, ensuring that everyone, regardless of background, has a chance to climb the economic ladder. It's not a perfect system, mind you, but it's certainly more meritocratic than a lot of other places. Of course, all this success comes at a price. Singapore's government isn't exactly known for its laissez-faire approach. They play an active role in the economy, sometimes to a degree that would make even the most ardent socialist blush. But hey, whatever they're doing, it seems to be working. Singapore may be small, but it's basically the overachieving middle child of global shipping. You know the type, always on top of their homework, probably plays a sport involving a net and cries when they get a B+. This tiny nation is home to one of the busiest ports on Earth, handling a ludicrous amount of cargo every year. We're talking enough shipping containers to make even a seasoned Tetris player break out in a cold sweat. And it's not just about the sheer volume. Singapore's strategic location at the crossroads of major shipping lanes makes it the ultimate middleman. They're like the Amazon Prime of Southeast Asia, except instead of delivering 2-day shipping, they're facilitating global trade and making bank while doing it. So next time you see a product that says Made in China or Made in Japan, there's a good chance it took a little detour through Singapore. They're the efficient, slightly terrifying friend you never knew you needed. Now you might be thinking, John, why Singapore? Why not, say, a giant inflatable ducky in the middle of the Pacific? And to that I say, first get some help with your interior decorating choices. But also geography, my friend. Singapore sits right smack dab in the Strait of Malacca, a narrow passageway between the Indian and Pacific Oceans. It's basically the shipping equivalent of the M25, but instead of being filled with angry commuters, it's teeming with cargo ships carrying everything from iPhones to inflatable ducks. This prime real estate means that any ship wanting to travel between Europe and Asia has to pass through Singapore's watery doorstep. It's like having a toll booth on the world's busiest highway, except instead of charging a few bucks, Singapore gets to be a global economic powerhouse. So, while other countries were busy arguing over land borders, Singapore was busy building a maritime empire, one container ship at a time. It's a classic tale of strategic planning and also, being in the right place at the right time. Okay, so we've established Singapore is a shipping superstar, but did you know they're also a tech titan? Yeah, turns out they're not content with just dominating the seas, they're coming for our digital lives too. We're talking massive investments in artificial intelligence, biotechnology, and those fancy smart cities everyone keeps talking about. The ones with self-driving cars and trash cans that empty themselves? Yeah, Singapore is basically living in the future, while the rest of us are stuck with dial-up internet and that weird smell in our refrigerators. And they're not just throwing money at the problem, though they are definitely doing that too. They're attracting top talent from around the world, because who wouldn't want to live in a tropical paradise that's also a technological wonderland? It's enough to make you want to pack your bags and move to Singapore, learn to code, and maybe finally figure out what blockchain actually is. This whole tech dominance thing is even more impressive when you consider where Singapore started. We're talking about a nation that was literally a backwater fishing village just a few decades ago. They didn't even have their own water supply. They had to buy it from Malaysia. But then something amazing happened. Singapore decided to embrace the power of innovation. They invested heavily in education, infrastructure, and research, turning themselves into a global hub for technology and entrepreneurship. It's like that kid in school who everyone thought was a lost cause, and then they suddenly blossom into a Nobel Prize-winning astrophysicist. Except instead of a Nobel Prize, they got a thriving tech sector and a reputation for being the coolest kid on the global block. So the next time someone tells you that size doesn't matter, just point them towards Singapore. They're proof that with a little ingenuity and a lot of hard work, even the smallest nation can achieve technological greatness. Now let's talk business, baby. And when I say business, I mean the kind that involves making money, preferably lots of it. And Singapore? Oh, they know how to lay out the welcome mat for businesses. especially those carrying briefcases overflowing with cash. We're talking low corporate taxes, the kind that would make even the most hardened CEO shed a tear of joy. And the regulations? Streamlined to the point where you'd think they were designed by a team of ninjas trained in the art of bureaucratic efficiency. But it's not just about the tax breaks and red tape, or lack thereof. Singapore boasts a stable political system, a rock-solid legal framework, and a workforce that's more educated than a room full of philosophy professors after a triple-shot espresso. It's basically the business equivalent of a five-star hotel, except instead of room service, you get government incentives and a front-row seat to the Asian economic miracle. Look, we all crave a little stability in our lives, right? Whether it's a reliable internet connection or a partner who remembers to buy milk without being reminded 17 times. Well, businesses crave stability too, and Singapore is basically the Beyoncé of stable economies. Confident, successful, and always puts on a good show. They've got a government that's pro-business, a currency that's stronger than a sumo wrestler on payday, and a legal system that's as transparent as a freshly cleaned window. And in the topsy-turvy world of global economics, where uncertainty lurks around every corner like a particularly aggressive pigeon, that kind of stability is more valuable than a golden goose that lays Fabergé eggs. So it's no wonder that businesses are flocking to Singapore like moths to a very bright, very profitable light bulb. They've created an environment where companies can thrive, innovate, and most importantly, make it rain cash. And honestly, who are we to argue with that kind of success? All right, let's address the lack of gum on the bottom of your shoe. Singapore is famously strict, especially with their ban on chewing gum. You can chew gum, just don't expect to buy it at your local 7-Eleven. The ban, enacted in 1992, aimed to keep the streets clean. Apparently, the powers that be got tired of gum clinging to their shoes. The government claims the ban saved them a fortune in cleaning costs. But hey, they also made their airport a wonderland of indoor waterfalls and butterfly gardens. Now, you might think that this draconian law would be met with mass gum-chewing protests, a la Tiananmen Square. But surprisingly, Singaporeans took it in stride. Perhaps they were just happy to have sidewalks free of that sticky menace. Or maybe they were too busy enjoying their country's ridiculously high standard of living to care. Over time, the government slightly relaxed the rules. In 2004, they struck a deal with the devil, or rather Wrigley's, allowing the sale of sugar-free gum. Suddenly, dentists across the island nation rejoiced. Finally, a way to keep their appointment books full in a country obsessed with cleanliness. However, don't think you can just waltz into a shop and demand your extrapolar ice. Oh no, my friend, you need a prescription from a doctor or dentist. Because apparently the only acceptable reason to chew gum in Singapore is to fight cavities or freshen your breath. God forbid you do it for the sheer joy of it. So there you have it. The chewing gum saga of Singapore. A tale of cleanliness, control, and the occasional illicit wad of double mint smuggled in from Malaysia. It's enough to make you want to pop a breath mint, isn't it? Alright, let's talk about rules. Because if Singapore were a person, it would be that friend who color codes their spice rack. This is a place where order reigns supreme, and jaywalking is practically considered a blood sport. We've already covered the chewing gum saga. But buckle up, folks, because that was just the tip of the iceberg. Singapore boasts a whole buffet of fines for offenses that would barely raise an eyebrow in other parts of the world. Now, some might call it excessive, but you can't argue with the results. Singapore is remarkably clean, safe, and efficient. Now let's be clear, Singapore isn't just about throwing fines at unsuspecting tourists like confetti at a parade. There's a method to the madness. The fines are often tiered, meaning minor offenses incur smaller penalties, while more serious infractions can land you in hot water. Think of it as a progressive system of encouraging good behavior. You know, with less progressive and more if you don't, you'll be sorry. The government argues that these strict laws are necessary to maintain social harmony in a densely populated and multicultural society. And it's hard to argue with their logic. Let's move on to Singapore's incredible cultural diversity. Singapore is a vibrant mix of ethnicities, languages, and traditions. It's like a delicious, spicy laksa, a flavorful fusion. The country recognizes 4 languages: English, Mandarin, Malay, and Tamil, reflecting its blend of Chinese, Malay, Indian, and Eurasian communities. Hawker centers offer a smorgasbord of culinary delights, from Hainanese chicken rice to Malay nasi lemak and Indian roti prata. Now, achieving this level of cultural harmony in such a small space doesn't happen by accident. It's the result of a deliberate effort by the government to foster inclusivity and tolerance. Racial and religious harmony is enshrined in the Constitution. This isn't to say that Singapore is a utopia devoid of any social issues, but the government is committed to addressing these challenges, and this commitment is reflected in the everyday interactions of Singaporeans. Their shared identity as Singaporeans transcends any cultural differences. Alright, so we've talked about Singapore's economic prowess, its slightly terrifying laws, and its cultural tapestry. But what about the actual living experience? Is it all just concrete and skyscrapers? Well, buckle up because Singapore has a trick up its sleeve. It's obsessed with being green. And I'm not talking about the color of money, though there is plenty of that too. Singapore is known as the city in a garden, and frankly, they've earned the title. We're talking lush parks, vertical gardens, and even a goddamn cloud forest in the middle of the city. It's like someone said, what if we took the Hanging Gardens of Babylon and made them even more extra? And then they did. The crown jewel of this green obsession has got to be Gardens by the Bay. Imagine massive, futuristic trees that light up at night like something straight out of Avatar. Except you can actually visit this Pandora, and it probably has much better food. Seriously, look it up. It's like something out of a fever dream, in the best way possible. So, while other cities are busy being concrete jungles, Singapore decided to be a concrete jungle gym, with a side of botanical garden and a sprinkle of environmental consciousness. Now you might be thinking, sure, fancy gardens are nice, but what's the point? Well, apart from the obvious benefits like cleaner air and a break from the urban sprawl, these green spaces are actually a key part of Singapore's strategy. They're not just for show, they're a vital part of making the city livable, sustainable, and frankly, more appealing to live and work in. Think about it. If you're a high-flying executive deciding where to set up shop, wouldn't you rather be in a city with actual greenery and a commitment to the environment? It's good for business, good for the planet, and it's a heck of a lot more pleasant to look at than another concrete monstrosity. Singapore's dedication to green spaces isn't just about aesthetics, it's about creating a better quality of life for its citizens. It's about recognizing that humans need nature, even in the heart of a bustling metropolis. It's about understanding that a healthy environment and a healthy economy go hand in hand. So next time you think about Singapore, don't just picture the skyscrapers and the financial district. Picture the super trees, the parks, the gardens. Picture a city that's as committed to its green spaces as it is to its greenbacks. Okay, so we've established that Singapore is a wealthy, efficient, and surprisingly green nation. But where does everyone live? And more importantly, can you afford to live there unless you're a tech mogul or a literal sultan? Well, hold on to your monocles, because Singapore has cracked the code on affordable housing. You see, about 80% of Singaporeans live in public housing. Yes, you heard that right. Not just a few lucky ducks, but the vast majority of the population. Now, before you conjure up images of dreary Soviet-era apartment blocks, let me stop you right there. Singapore's public housing is, dare I say it, actually quite nice. We're talking spacious apartments, well-maintained buildings, and even amenities like playgrounds, community centers, and hawker centers within walking distance. It's like living in a self-contained mini-city, with everything you need right at your doorstep. It's almost enough to make you want to move there yourself. Almost. I mean, have you seen the humidity? It's like walking through a warm soup, and not the delicious kind. Now I know what you're thinking. This sounds too good to be true. What's the catch? You have to be eligible, usually a Singaporean citizen or permanent resident. Public housing provides affordability and security unheard of in other major cities. Imagine not choosing between rent and eating. You can save for a down payment or even a vacation, thanks to their robust public housing system. It's about affordability and building a sense of community. It fosters a sense of shared identity and social cohesion. Singapore's public housing is a shining example of prioritizing citizens' needs. And there you have it, Singapore, a tiny island nation that's become a global powerhouse through a unique blend of pragmatism, discipline, and a touch of authoritarianism. From its gleaming skyscrapers to its verdant gardens, Singapore is a testament to the power of human ingenuity and the potential of turning limitations into strengths. But before you go booking your flights and stocking up on breath mints, seriously, those anti-gum laws are no joke. Remember that Singapore's story is just one example of the many fascinating and complex nations out there. So stay curious, keep exploring, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into the world's most intriguing countries. And if you made it this far, congratulations! You deserve a medal, or at least a sticker. Consider yourself virtually stickered. Now go forth and impress your friends with your newfound knowledge of Singapore.
Hey everyone, ready for an adventure? Let's go to Norway, the land of Vikings, beautiful fjords, and a really great way of life. We're going to find out what makes Norway so special, from its strong economy to its peaceful government and its cool new ideas. If you think Norway is just pretty mountains and cozy cabins, think again. This country is always near the top of the list for happy people, a good economy, and even helping the environment. It makes you wonder if they have a secret recipe for success. Don't worry, we're going to find out. Over the next few minutes, we'll explore how Norway became a world leader. Part 2, More Than Just Fjords, Norway's Secret to Success. Now you might be thinking, doesn't Norway have a lot of oil money? You're right, but there's much more to Norway than just oil. They found oil, but they also saved that money wisely. They created a special savings account that other countries wish they had. They've also put money into renewable energy, sustainable fishing, and even high-tech stuff. It's like they figured out how to grow their economy while also protecting the environment, and their government is as steady as their beautiful fjords. Part 3. Get ready. An exciting trip to Norway. Get ready to explore the land of the midnight sun, where Vikings used to live and new ideas are born. We'll discover the secrets of Norway's economic success, learn about their government, and see their amazing technology. Let's go on this adventure together. Part 1. Oil Rush, How Oil Made Norway Rich. Okay, let's talk about the big thing everyone knows about Norway oil. Norway's success story started when they found a lot of oil and gas in the ocean in the 1960s. It's like winning the lottery, but instead of buying a fancy car, they decided to be smart with the money. Before oil, Norway was a regular country known for fishing and beautiful scenery, not for being rich. The oil money changed everything, making Norway one of the richest countries in the world. Part 2. The Piggy Bank, How Norway Saves Its Money. Imagine a piggy bank so big it could buy anything in the world. That's kind of like Norway's special savings account, called the Government Pension Fund Global. It's the biggest savings account of its kind with trillions of dollars. But here's the cool part. Norway doesn't just keep the money. They invested in things all over the world, like stocks, bonds, buildings, and renewable energy. It's like a retirement plan, not just for now, but for the future too. Norway knows about climate change and wants to protect the environment. Part 3. More Than Oil, Planning for the Future. Oil and gas are still important to Norway, but they're not just relying on oil. Norway is investing in other things like renewable energy, technology, fishing, and tourism. For example, Norway is really good at hydropower, which is a clean way to make electricity. They're also using wind power, solar energy, and even energy from waves. Norway is also a leader in sustainable fishing. Their salmon is famous around the world. Part 4. Too much oil? The problems with depending on oil. Even though Norway is trying new things, they still depend a lot on oil and gas. As the world tries to use less oil and gas, this could be a problem for Norway. Also, oil and gas create pollution that's bad for the environment. This is a tough problem for Norway. They want to be rich, but they also want to protect the environment. Can they do both? Only time will tell. Okay, let's learn about Norway's government. Norway has a king, but he doesn't have all the power. It's like having a king who follows the rules. King Harald V is their head of state, but he's more like a symbol. The real power is with the elected government, led by a prime minister. Having a king and a government shows that Norway values peace and democracy. So, how does Norway have such a peaceful government when other countries have so many problems? They have fair elections, respect human rights, and follow the law. Their politicians work together instead of fighting. Norway believes in social democracy, which means they want fairness, equality, and help for people who need it. This makes people trust their government and feel like they are part of something bigger. You might think Norway is small, but they do a lot to help the world. They believe in working together with other countries, protecting human rights, and helping everyone live better lives. Norway helped create the United Nations and believes in following international laws. They've helped stop fights between countries, protected human rights, and given money to countries that need it. They're also working hard to stop climate change by using renewable energy. And they're not just talking about it, they're doing it! Part 4. The cost of success, dealing with challenges. Before we say Norway is perfect, we need to remember that even good places have problems. Living in Norway is expensive, especially for young people and people who don't make a lot of money. Also, depending on oil could be a problem in the future. Norway needs to find new ways to make money as the world uses less oil. Even with these challenges, Norway is a great example of success, stability, and new ideas. Part 1. Tech Vikings. Norway's growing tech scene. Get ready to explore Norway's exciting tech world. Forget Vikings with swords and shields. Now they're using computers and creating new businesses. Norway is becoming a center for new ideas. From artificial intelligence to renewable energy, Norway's tech scene is full of exciting things. Part 2. AI for good. Using AI to help everyone. Let's talk about artificial intelligence, or AI. Norway isn't just using AI, they're trying to make sure it helps everyone. They want to make sure AI is fair and safe. Norway is working to create AI systems that are honest, open, and responsible. Part 3. Education is key. How Norway fuels innovation. How does a small country like Norway become so good at technology? The answer is education. Norway invests a lot in its schools and encourages people to keep learning throughout their lives. From preschool to university, Norway's education system helps people be creative, think critically, and love learning. And guess what? College is free, even for students from other countries. This focus on education makes Norway's workers skilled and ready for the changing tech world. Part 4. The future is Norwegian. A look at Norway's tech future. Norway has always been a land of innovation from the Viking Age to the present day. But what does the future hold for this Nordic nation? What's next for Norway's tech scene? The answer is a blend of tradition and cutting-edge technology, where ancient wisdom meets modern innovation. It's going to be bright, innovative, and full of cool gadgets. Imagine walking through a park where every bench is a solar-powered charging station, and every lamppost is a Wi-Fi hotspot. Norway is ready to be a world leader in renewable energy, sustainable technology, and AI. The country is investing heavily in wind and solar power, aiming to create a sustainable future for generations to come. Imagine a world powered by clean energy, where fossil fuels are a thing of the past. Norway is making that vision a reality with its expansive solar farms and wind turbines, where electric cars are everywhere, seamlessly integrated into the landscape. Charging stations are as common as gas stations once were, making it easy for everyone to make the switch. And AI helps solve big problems. Sounds great, right? From healthcare to transportation, AI is being used to make life easier and more efficient for everyone. Norway is working to make that happen. Engineers and scientists are collaborating on groundbreaking projects that could change the world. They're investing in smart cities, creating eco-friendly transportation, and making urban living more sustainable. Imagine cities where everything is connected, from traffic lights to public transport, all working together to reduce carbon footprints, and using AI to improve healthcare, education, and the environment. Hospitals are becoming smarter, schools are integrating AI into their curriculums, and environmental monitoring is more precise than ever. It's like they're building a futuristic Viking ship, one that sails on the seas of innovation and technology. This ship is not just a symbol but a reality of Norway's commitment to a better future. Powered by innovation and a desire to make the world a better place, Norwegian startups are at the forefront, pushing the boundaries of what's possible. So, watch out for Norway. This small but mighty nation is making waves in the tech world, proving that size doesn't matter when you have big ideas. This small country is showing that when it comes to technology, it's not about size, it's about vision, innovation, and the Viking spirit that drives them forward. It's about having the right ideas and the Viking spirit. Norway is not just keeping up with the future, it's leading the way. Part 1. Nature Lovers, Norway's Love for Nature. Get ready to be amazed by Norway's love for nature. This is a love story for the ages, all about beautiful landscapes and protecting the environment. Norwegians don't just live nature, they live nature. It's part of who they are. From their Viking ancestors who sailed the seas and respected nature's power, to today's Norwegians, they understand how important it is to live in harmony with nature. This love for nature is part of their everyday lives. They love hiking, skiing, and being outside. They have a word, friluftsliv, which means open-air living. It's like a national hobby to go outside and enjoy nature, rain or shine. Norway loves electric cars, but their commitment to sustainability goes much further. They're trying to be sustainable in every way, from how they make energy to how they handle their trash. Norway is a world leader in renewable energy, using hydropower to make most of their electricity. They're using the power of waterfalls to keep their lights on and their cars charged. They're also investing in wind power, solar energy, and even energy from waves. And it's not just about clean energy. Norway is also great at recycling. They even turn their garbage into energy. Before we say Norway is perfect at protecting the environment, we need to remember that it's hard to balance growing the economy with protecting nature. Norway faces this challenge too. One big challenge is that Norway still makes a lot of money from oil and gas. They're trying to use more renewable energy, but they still depend on oil. Another challenge is dealing with tourists. Everyone wants to visit Norway, but more tourists can hurt the environment. Even with these challenges, Norway is a great example for the world. They show that a country can be rich and protect the environment at the same time. Imagine a future where every country uses renewable energy, electric cars are everywhere, and we recycle everything. That sounds great, right? Norway is showing us that this future is possible. Norway reminds us that we all need to protect our planet. Whether it's using renewable energy, driving less, or just enjoying nature, every little bit helps. There's no planet B, planet. Get ready for an amazing adventure through Norway's natural wonders. Forget virtual reality. Norway is the real deal. First, there's the midnight sun. Imagine walking through a town at midnight, and the sun is still shining. During the summer, the sun in some parts of Norway never sets. But wait, there's more. Norway also has the northern lights. Imagine sitting in a cozy cabin, drinking hot chocolate, and suddenly the sky is filled with dancing green, blue, and purple lights. It's like a giant disco ball in the sky. The northern lights happen when particles from the sun hit the Earth's atmosphere. Part 2, From Vikings to Hygge Culture and Tradition. Now let's get cozy and explore Norway's culture, where Viking traditions meet modern Hygge. Forget what you think you know about Vikings with horned helmets, they didn't actually wear those. Norway's Viking history is important, but now they're all about being cozy and comfortable. Think warm fireplaces, comfy sweaters, and enjoying the simple things in life. It's like the Danish idea of hygge, which means being cozy and content. But Norway's culture is more than just being cozy. They have amazing folklore, music, and art, from traditional songs to beautiful Viking jewelry. And don't forget the food. Fresh seafood, hearty stews, and heart-shaped waffles. It's a treat for all your senses. Part 3. Happiness is a warm fjord, the Norwegian lifestyle. Why are Norwegians so happy? Is it the beautiful scenery that surrounds them every day? The majestic fjords, the serene lakes, and the towering mountains that seem to touch the sky? Or perhaps it's the sense of peace and tranquility that comes from living in such a breathtaking environment. The natural beauty of Norway is undeniably a significant factor, but there's more to it. The help they get from their government plays a crucial role too. Norway's social welfare system ensures that everyone has access to essential services, from healthcare to education, creating a safety net that allows people to live without constant worry. Or is it something deeper, part of how they live? Norwegians have a unique approach to life that emphasizes balance, community, and a deep connection to nature. Norwegians find joy in simple things, enjoy the moment, and have a good balance between work and life. They prioritize spending time with loved ones and engaging in activities that bring them happiness. This balance is evident in their daily routines. Many Norwegians cycle to work, combining exercise with their commute, and take time to relax in parks during lunch breaks. Maybe it's the fresh air and nature, the opportunity to hike on mountain trails or kayak on clear lakes that contributes to their well-being. Or maybe it's their strong sense of community. Norwegians often gather in parks, help each other during outdoor activities, and participate in community events. Whatever it is, it's working. The combination of natural beauty, social support, and a strong community spirit creates a recipe for happiness. They have this idea called friluftsliv, which means spending time outdoors is good for you. Whether it's hiking, kayaking, or just having coffee in a cozy cabin, Norwegians embrace the outdoors. This concept is deeply ingrained in their culture. They believe that being in nature is beneficial for both the mind and body, and they make it a priority to spend time outside. Whether it's a weekend getaway to a cozy cabin in the woods or a simple coffee break on a cabin porch, Norwegians know how to relax and recharge. Norwegians know that being in nature is good for their minds and bodies. They practice mindfulness and meditation in natural settings, enhancing their mental well-being. But it's not just about being outside. Norwegians also value spending time with family and friends. They love potlucks, bonfires, and just being together. These gatherings strengthen their bonds and create a sense of belonging. They cherish these moments of togetherness, which contribute to their overall happiness. They've figured out how to be happy both individually and as a community. By combining their love for nature, strong social support, and a balanced lifestyle, Norwegians have created a way of life that many around the world admire and aspire to. Part 1. A Nordic paradox balancing progress and preservation. So there you have it, a quick trip to Norway, a country that's full of surprises. They found oil, but they saved the money wisely. They embraced technology without losing their humanity. And they've protected their environment while becoming a leader in innovation. It's strange. Norway is both traditional and modern, independent and cooperative. They're quietly building a society that's both successful and fair, innovative and sustainable. They show us that it's possible to have a strong economy, help for people in need, a good government and a healthy environment, and they do it all with humility and kindness. Part 2. Lessons from the Land of Fjords, Inspiration for a Changing World. What can we learn from Norway? This beautiful country with its stunning landscapes and rich cultural heritage offers us a treasure trove of lessons. From the way they manage their natural resources to their commitment to education and innovation, Norway stands as a beacon of hope and inspiration for the rest of the world. First, Norway shows us that planning for the future and using resources wisely is important for a healthy planet. Their approach to renewable energy is a testament to this. With vast investments in wind and solar power, Norway is not only reducing its carbon footprint, but also setting an example for other nations to follow. They've shown that it's possible to make money from natural resources without destroying them. Sustainable fishing practices and environmentally conscious oil extraction methods are just a few examples of how Norway balances economic growth with environmental stewardship. This balance ensures that future generations can also benefit from these resources. Second, Norway teaches us that investing in education, innovation, and equality is the right thing to do, and it's also smart. Their universities and research institutions are among the best in the world, fostering a culture of learning and creativity. By prioritizing education, Norway ensures that its citizens are well equipped to tackle the challenges of tomorrow. By helping everyone succeed, they've created a country full of creativity and new ideas. The startup culture in Norway is thriving, with numerous tech innovators and entrepreneurs making their mark on the global stage. This spirit of innovation is not just limited to technology but extends to various fields, including arts, sciences, and social initiatives. And finally, Norway reminds us that sometimes the best things are simple. The Norwegian way of life emphasizes the importance of simplicity and connection with nature. Whether it's a family hike in the mountains or a quiet evening by the fjord, these simple pleasures are cherished and celebrated. Their love for nature, their focus on work-life balance, and their strong communities are lessons we can all learn from. In Norway, the concept of friluftsliv, or open-air living, is deeply ingrained in the culture. This philosophy encourages people to spend time outdoors, fostering a deep connection with the natural world, and promoting physical and mental well-being. In a world with big challenges like climate change and inequality, Norway gives us hope. Their proactive stance on environmental issues and commitment to social justice serve as a reminder that positive change is possible. Community events focused on sustainability and climate activism are common, reflecting the collective effort to create a better future. They show us that a better future is possible. By fostering a sense of community and inclusivity, Norway demonstrates that diversity and unity can go hand in hand. Celebrations and festivals often highlight this spirit, bringing people together to celebrate their shared values and aspirations. So let's celebrate Norway, a country that shows us that even when things are uncertain, there's always hope. Their resilience and optimism in the face of challenges are truly inspiring. National celebrations with their vibrant displays of culture and tradition remind us of the strength and unity of the Norwegian people. And if you ever visit Norway, bring your hiking boots, your sense of adventure, and be ready for anything. The country's diverse landscapes offer endless opportunities for exploration and adventure. From the rugged mountains to the serene fjords, there's something for everyone to enjoy. You might just discover the secret to happiness, or at least a really good cup of coffee. The simple joys of life, like enjoying a cup of coffee at a local cafe while taking in the breathtaking views, are what make Norway truly special. So take a moment to savor these experiences and let them inspire you.
Switzerland, land of majestic mountains, pristine lakes, and enough chocolate to satisfy even Willy Wonka's wildest dreams. But beneath this idyllic facade lies a fascinating story of economic prosperity, political stability, and innovative prowess. Today, we're diving deep into the Swiss success story, exploring the factors that have propelled this small, landlocked country to the top of the global rankings. Switzerland's success isn't built on gimmicks or lucky breaks. It's a carefully crafted system. A balance of factors creating a nation that's the envy of the world. We're talking about a rock-solid economy, a stable political system, and a culture that values hard work and education, but it's also about the Swiss people, their resilience, adaptability, and shared sense of responsibility. Switzerland is small, roughly the size of Vermont, with a population smaller than New York City. Yet this tiny nation wields an outsized influence on the world stage. Without vast natural resources, the Swiss have focused on specialized industries, fostering innovation, and building strong international relationships. Switzerland is home to some of the world's most successful companies and renowned financial institutions. While small in size, its impact on the world is anything but. Switzerland's economic prowess is like a perfectly balanced checkbook. The Swiss excel in high-end watches, intricate machinery, and pharmaceuticals, requiring a highly skilled workforce. Low taxes, streamlined regulations, and a stable political system make it an attractive destination for businesses. Beyond chocolate and cheese, Switzerland's economy is versatile and adaptable. They're global leaders in chemicals, pharmaceuticals, and machinery manufacturing, with a strong financial sector and booming tourism industry. This diversification pumps billions into the economy, supporting jobs and businesses across various sectors. Switzerland's economic success is built on fiscal discipline and a strong currency. The Swiss franc is a global safe haven, symbolizing stability and reliability. This combination creates an environment of economic stability, allowing businesses to invest with confidence. Switzerland's political system is a blend of direct democracy and consensus building. Citizens vote on everything from environmental policy to social welfare programs, ensuring active participation. This consensus-driven approach results in remarkable political stability. Switzerland's famous neutrality is a reflection of their history, geography, and cultural values. They're masters of diplomacy, skilled at navigating complex international relations and building bridges between nations. Their neutrality allows them to develop strong economic ties with countries worldwide. Switzerland's robust democracy is built on a deep-seated belief in citizen participation. From a young age, Swiss citizens are taught the importance of civic duty and encouraged to get involved. This culture of civic engagement is evident in well-attended town hall meetings, lively public debates, and high voting rates. Switzerland is home to global giants like Nestlé Roche and Novartis, but also to smaller, highly specialized companies. These companies thrive on a culture of innovation, a highly skilled workforce, and a business-friendly environment. They invest heavily in research and development, forging close ties with universities and research institutions. Switzerland cherishes its traditions, but also has a history of invention and technological advancement. From Velcro to the Swiss Army knife, Swiss innovation finds practical, elegant solutions to everyday challenges. Swiss universities and research institutions consistently rank among the best, attracting top talent and driving scientific discovery. So how does Switzerland do it? How does this small landlocked nation manage to stay ahead of the technological curve and maintain its position as a global leader in innovation? Well, it all comes down to a deep-seated belief in the importance of education, research, and a willingness to invest in the future. Switzerland recognizes that its most valuable resource is its people, and it invests heavily in their education and training. The Swiss education system is renowned for its quality and rigor, with a strong emphasis on both academic excellence and practical skills development. From a young age, Swiss students are encouraged to think critically, to solve problems creatively, and to embrace lifelong learning. But it's not just about formal education. Switzerland also fosters a culture of innovation and entrepreneurship, providing support and resources for startups and small businesses. The Swiss government is a strong proponent of research and development, investing heavily in universities, research institutions, and public-private partnerships. This commitment to innovation is evident in Switzerland's thriving startup ecosystem. Cities like Zurich and Lausanne have become magnets for entrepreneurs and innovators, attracting venture capital and fostering a collaborative environment where new ideas can flourish. And with its strong tradition of precision engineering and manufacturing, Switzerland is uniquely positioned to turn those ideas into reality. This combination of a highly educated workforce, a supportive government, and a culture that values innovation has created a virtuous cycle of progress in Switzerland. All right, folks, buckle up because we're about to dive into a topic that's near and dear to everyone's heart: quality of life. And let's be real, when it comes to living the good life, Switzerland is like that annoyingly perfect student who aces every exam, volunteers at the local soup kitchen, and still manages to have a thriving social life. So, what's their secret? Is it all just fondue and alpine air? Well, not quite. See, Switzerland consistently tops those global quality of life rankings, and for good reason. We're talking about things like high life expectancy, low crime rates, excellent healthcare, and a clean, efficient public infrastructure that would make a New Yorker weep with envy. It's like living in a real-life utopia, minus the mandatory group sing-alongs, unless you're into that sort of thing. But it's more than just impressive statistics. Switzerland has cracked the code on creating a society that prioritizes the well-being of its citizens from cradle to grave. They understand that a happy, healthy, and secure population is essential for a thriving nation. And they've put their money where their mouth is, investing heavily in social programs, public services, and a social safety net that catches you if you fall. Take their healthcare system, for example. Switzerland has universal healthcare coverage, meaning everyone has access to quality, affordable healthcare regardless of their income or employment status. And it's not just basic coverage. We're talking about a system that consistently ranks among the best in the world, with world-class hospitals, highly trained doctors, and short wait times that would make an American gasp in disbelief. Now, let's talk about that elusive concept, work-life balance, that mythical state of being where you manage to crush it at work, spend quality time with loved ones, pursue your passions, and still get a decent night's sleep. Well, in Switzerland, it's not so much a myth as it is a way of life. The Swiss have a deep-rooted respect for leisure time and personal well-being. They understand that all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, or Heidi a very grumpy girl, as the case may be. So they've created a culture that values time off, whether it's hitting the slopes on the weekend, enjoying a leisurely lunch with colleagues, or simply spending quality time with family and friends. And it's not just about taking time off, it's about disconnecting from work completely. You won't find many Swiss professionals chained to their desks late at night or answering emails on their days off. They've mastered the art of setting boundaries, of separating work life from personal life, and of prioritizing what truly matters. But let's not paint an overly rosy picture here. Switzerland, like any other country, has its share of workaholics and overachievers. The pressure to succeed, both professionally and personally, is still very real. But the difference is that in Switzerland there's a greater awareness of the importance of balance, a collective understanding that a fulfilling life requires more than just career success. Let's talk about safety and security in Switzerland. Switzerland is like that super safe neighborhood where you can leave your door unlocked. You and your loved ones are safe and secure. Low crime rates, strong social safety net, and a culture of respect. Switzerland offers stability and security. It's a place to plan for the future with confidence. And then there's the serenity, breathtaking natural beauty, and a unique sense of well-being. The happiness index. Do the Swiss have a monopoly on joy? Now, we've talked about quality of life, but what about that elusive feeling, that warm and fuzzy sensation we all crave? Happiness. Well, buckle up, buttercups, because Switzerland consistently ranks near the top of those global happiness surveys. It's enough to make you wonder if they're spiking the fondue with euphoria-inducing herbs. But before we start accusing the Swiss of hoarding all the happiness, let's dig a little deeper. What exactly are these surveys measuring, and is it really as simple as saying the Swiss are just, happier people? These happiness indexes typically take into account factors like social support, life expectancy, freedom to make life choices, generosity, and perceptions of corruption. And when you look at Switzerland through that lens, it starts to make sense. They've got a lot going for them: a strong social safety net, a stable political system, and a culture that values work-life balance and personal well-being. But it's more than just ticking boxes on a survey. There's a palpable sense of contentment that permeates Swiss society, a quiet satisfaction with the way things are. It's not that they don't have their problems, every country does, but they seem to have figured out a way to navigate life's challenges with a healthy dose of pragmatism and a deep appreciation for the simple things. Can we bottle Swiss contentment? Or is it all an elaborate cheese dream? What's the secret? Can we bottle Swiss contentment and sell it globally? Or is it a blend of tradition, culture and alpine air? It's likely both. No magic formula exists for happiness. But we can learn from Swiss social cohesion and work-life balance. Their connection to nature also plays a role. By prioritizing these, we can create happier societies. The Swiss blueprint, lessons in prosperity, stability, and that elusive thing called happiness. So there you have it, folks, the Swiss success story laid bare in all its glory. We've explored their economic prowess, their political stability, their innovative spirit, and their uncanny ability to consistently top those best places to live lists. It's enough to make you want to pack your bags, grab a fondue pot, and book a one-way ticket to Zurich, isn't it? But before you trade in your passport for a Swiss Army knife and a lifetime supply of chocolate, let's take a step back and consider what we've learned. Because the Swiss experience isn't just about admiring their mountains or envying their bank accounts. It's about understanding the factors that contribute to a thriving nation, a content populace, and a model of success that's both impressive and, dare we say, a little bit inspiring. The Swiss have shown us that size isn't everything, that a small landlocked nation can punch above its weight on the global stage by focusing on its strengths, fostering innovation, and building strong international relationships. They've proven that economic prosperity and social responsibility can go hand in hand, that investing in education, healthcare, and a strong social safety net is not only the right thing to do, but also makes good economic sense. And perhaps most importantly, they've reminded us that happiness isn't a mythical beast reserved for those living in alpine paradises. It's the result of deliberate choices, of creating a society that prioritizes well-being, fosters a sense of community, and values the simple pleasures in life. So, you want to be like Switzerland? Like, comment, subscribe, and let's discuss. Can we replicate the Swiss model? The Swiss success story is unique. It's not a one-size-fits-all solution, but we can learn valuable lessons, identify strengths, invest in people. What do you think? Hit like, comment, and subscribe. Stay curious, stay informed. Ireland, the land of Guinness, breathtaking scenery and charming accents that could melt glaciers. But lately, even the luck of the Irish seems to be running a bit dry. Behind those rolling green hills and lively pub tunes, a different story is unfolding. Ireland is grappling with a housing crisis so severe, leprechauns might soon be priced out of their own pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Rents are skyrocketing, and finding an affordable place to live feels like winning the lottery. The gap between the haves and the have-nots is widening faster than a pint of Guinness on St. Patrick's Day. So, what's going on? How did the Emerald Isle, once known for its economic struggles, become a poster child for both economic prosperity and social challenges? Now, before you write off Ireland as just another cautionary tale of economic growth gone wrong, hold your horses, or should we say hold your Irish draft horses. Ireland's journey is a rollercoaster ride of historical twists, clever policies, and a sprinkle of that famous Irish luck. We'll peel back the layers of Ireland's economic miracle, exploring the policies and ideologies that transformed it from a country heavily reliant on agriculture to a global hub for technology and innovation. We'll delve into the factors that contributed to its remarkable economic boom, from its low corporate tax rates to its highly educated and skilled workforce. But we won't shy away from the hard questions. Get ready to explore the complex interplay of economics, politics, and technology that has shaped modern Ireland. Ireland's story is one of resilience, reinvention, and a touch of rebellious spirit. From the devastation of the Great Famine to the fight for independence, the Irish have known hardship. In recent decades, Ireland has undergone a remarkable transformation, earning the nickname Celtic Tiger for its booming economy. Once heavily reliant on agriculture, it has embraced globalization and become a magnet for multinational corporations, particularly in the tech sector. This influx of foreign investment has undoubtedly brought economic benefits, creating jobs and boosting the country's GDP. But it has also come at a cost, with rising housing costs, increased competition for resources, and a sense for some that the soul of Ireland is being diluted by outside influences. All right, folks, let's talk economics, Irish style. What exactly happened in this land of saints and scholars to turn their economic fortunes around? Was it a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, leprechaun magic? Well, not quite. Picture this, the 1990s. Ireland, known more for its emigration than its immigration, was struggling with high unemployment and a sluggish economy. Then something remarkable happened. The government implemented a series of bold economic reforms. They slashed corporate taxes, making Ireland a haven for foreign investment, particularly from tech giants across the pond. These strategic moves, combined with a bit of that renowned Irish luck, paid off big time. Low taxes, high stakes, the double-edged sword of foreign investment. Ireland's decision to slash corporate tax rates to one of the lowest in Europe was a game changer, attracting a wave of multinational corporations, particularly from the tech sector. This influx of foreign investment brought significant benefits: thousands of new jobs, a surge in tax revenue, and a boost to Ireland's global reputation. But it also came with its fair share of controversies. Critics argue that Ireland's low corporate taxes are unfair to other countries, essentially allowing multinational corporations to avoid paying their fair share of taxes elsewhere. It's a classic case of a double-edged sword: economic growth and prosperity on one side, concerns about fairness and potential long-term consequences on the other. Education, innovation, and a dash of Irish charm. Another key ingredient in their recipe for growth is a strong emphasis on education and innovation. Recognizing the need for a highly skilled workforce, Ireland has invested heavily in its education system from primary school all the way to university level. The result? A young, dynamic, and highly educated workforce that's attractive to multinational companies seeking talent. Irish universities are renowned for their research and development capabilities, particularly in fields like technology, pharmaceuticals, and engineering. This focus on human capital has been a key driver of Ireland's economic transformation. Balancing act: navigating the tightrope of globalization. Ireland now faces the delicate balancing act of maintaining its economic momentum while addressing the social and economic disparities that have emerged in the wake of rapid growth. The influx of foreign companies and workers has put a strain on housing, driving up rents and making home ownership a distant dream for many. The gap between rich and poor has widened, raising concerns about inequality and social cohesion. Ireland's journey is a testament to the power of smart economic policies, a commitment to education, and a bit of good fortune. The challenge now is to ensure that the benefits of growth are shared more equitably, preserving the soul of Ireland while securing its economic future. The Silicon Shamrock tech giants take root. Dublin, Ireland's vibrant capital, has become a veritable Silicon Valley of the Emerald Isle. Walking through Dublin's docklands today, you'd be forgiven for thinking you'd stumbled into a tech conference after-party. Towering office buildings sporting the logos of Google, Facebook, and Apple gleam against the River Liffey. These tech giants aren't just setting up small satellite offices either. They're dropping anchor with massive headquarters, employing thousands of skilled Irish workers and pumping billions into the local economy. It's a potent combination that has cemented Ireland's reputation as a global tech hub. Beyond the code, pharmaceuticals, finance, and more. While tech is undoubtedly a major player in Ireland's economic success story, it's not the only game in town. Ireland has quietly become a powerhouse in other sectors as well, particularly pharmaceuticals and finance. Global pharmaceutical giants like Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, and GlaxoSmithKline have established significant manufacturing and research facilities in Ireland. The financial services sector has also flourished in Ireland, with Dublin emerging as a major hub for international banking and financial technology, fintech companies. This diversification of Ireland's economy is crucial for long-term sustainability. Homegrown heroes, Irish companies making waves. Ireland's success story isn't just about attracting foreign investment, it's also about fostering homegrown talent and innovation. One such success story is Ryanair, the budget airline that revolutionized air travel in Europe. Then there's Kerry Group, a global leader in food ingredients and flavors, and let's not forget about CRH plc, a building materials giant that's become a global player in the construction industry. These homegrown success stories are a testament to the entrepreneurial spirit and ingenuity that thrives in Ireland. A nation of startups fostering innovation from the ground up. In recent years, Ireland has witnessed a surge in startup activity, with a new generation of entrepreneurs eager to make their mark. Dublin, in particular, has become a hotbed for startups, attracting young talent and venture capital from around the globe. The government has actively fostered this startup ecosystem, providing funding, mentorship programs, and tax incentives to encourage innovation and entrepreneurship. One of the key drivers of this startup boom is the strong network of incubators and accelerators that have sprung up across Ireland. This vibrant startup culture is injecting fresh energy and ideas into the Irish economy, creating jobs, attracting investment, and positioning Ireland as a hub for innovation in the 21st century. Challenges on the horizon, navigating the tech landscape of the future. The tech landscape is constantly evolving, and Ireland must remain agile and adaptable to maintain its competitive edge. The rise of automation and artificial intelligence is disrupting traditional industries, and Ireland must ensure its workforce is equipped with the skills needed to thrive in this rapidly changing environment. Another challenge is the increasing competition from other countries seeking to attract foreign investment and tech talent. And then there are the social challenges that have accompanied Ireland's economic success. Issues like housing affordability, income inequality, and the need to ensure that the benefits of growth are shared more equitably across Irish society. The good news is that the Irish have a proven track record of resilience, adaptability, and a knack for turning challenges into opportunities. Section 1. The Quality of Life Conundrum Beyond GDP and Growth Charts. Alright folks, time for a reality check. We've talked about booming economies, soaring GDPs, and multinational corporations flocking to Ireland like leprechauns to a pot of gold. But let's be honest, a country's success isn't just measured in euros and cents. It's about the quality of life its citizens enjoy. So how does Ireland stack up when it comes to the things that truly matter? You know, the good stuff: happiness, well-being, a sense of community, and the ability to enjoy a pint of Guinness without having to refinance your house. On paper, Ireland seems to be doing pretty well. Life expectancy is on the rise, literacy rates are high, and crime rates are relatively low. The Emerald Isle consistently ranks highly in global surveys of happiness and well-being, often surpassing its European neighbours. But beneath the surface of these rosy statistics, a more complex picture emerges. While Ireland has undoubtedly made significant strides in improving quality of life for its citizens, challenges remain. The housing crisis, rising cost of living, and growing inequality cast a shadow over the Celtic tiger's roar. So is Ireland a utopia where the streets are paved with shamrocks and everyone's doing a jig? Not quite. But it's also not a dystopian nightmare where the only affordable housing is a leaky hobbit hole. The reality, as always, lies somewhere in between. Section 2. Healthcare, a system in need of a checkup. Let's talk about healthcare, shall we? Even the luckiest leprechaun needs a doctor once in a while. Ireland's healthcare system is a mixed bag, blending public and private provisions. Ireland provides universal healthcare coverage to its citizens. Everyone has access to essential healthcare services. That's a big deal, folks. However, the reality often falls short of the ideal. Long wait times for appointments and procedures are common. The system grapples with a shortage of doctors and nurses. The private sector offers faster access for those who can afford it. This two-tiered system raises concerns about equity and access. Ireland's healthcare system is a work in progress. The challenge lies in ensuring the system is adequately funded, staffed, and structured. Section 3. Education investing in the future, one pint of Guinness at a time. Education is the cornerstone of any successful society. In Ireland, it's practically a national sport. From Trinity College to local pub quizzes, learning is cherished. Ireland offers free, compulsory education for children aged 6 to 16. Every child has the right to quality education. A good education is the best gift you can give a child. Ireland's higher education system is world-class. Universities like Trinity College Dublin and University College Cork rank among the best. These institutions attract students globally. It's an investment in the future, ensuring opportunity and innovation. Section 4. Work-life balance, finding the crack between career and leisure. All right, lads and lasses, let's talk about work-life balance, that elusive ideal in today's fast-paced world. The Irish, known for their love of life, seem to have a knack for balancing work and play. Maybe it's the fresh air, the rolling green hills, or the promise of a good time down at the pub. The Irish understand the importance of family, friends, and taking time for themselves. Weekends are sacred, a time for family gatherings, leisurely pub lunches, and Gaelic football. Ireland's approach to work-life balance is a reminder that success isn't just about career achievements, it's about finding joy in everyday moments and embracing the good things in life. All right, let's talk happiness, that elusive feeling everyone's chasing, often while scrolling through perfectly curated Instagram feeds and wondering where it all went wrong. Well, it turns out the Irish might be onto something. Year after year, Ireland consistently ranks highly in global happiness surveys. It's enough to make you wonder, do they know something we don't? Is there something in the water or maybe in the Guinness? Now, before you pack your bags and book a one-way ticket to Dublin, let's unpack this happiness phenomenon a bit. It's not like the Irish have somehow cracked the code to eternal bliss, immune to the stresses and challenges of modern life. They face many of the same issues as other developed nations: economic uncertainty, political polarization, the ever-present pressure cooker of social media, yet they seem to navigate these challenges with a sense of resilience, humor, and an ability to find joy in the simple things. So, what's their secret? Well, there's no magic formula, but a few key ingredients contribute to the Irish sense of well-being: a strong sense of community, a deep connection to their history and culture, and an ability to find humor in adversity all play a part. It's about embracing the good times and facing the tough times with a sense of solidarity and a healthy dose of perspective. It's about realizing that happiness isn't a destination, it's a way of life. One of the things that strikes visitors to Ireland is the strong sense of community. It's a place where people look out for each other, where a friendly face and a warm welcome are never far away. Pubs in Ireland are more than just watering holes. They're social hubs, community centres, and often the heart and soul of a village. Step into a traditional Irish pub and you're likely to find a mix of generations sharing stories and maybe even bursting into an impromptu sing-along. Then there's the GAA, a sporting organisation that's practically a religion in Ireland. Every village has its own GAA club, and on match days, the entire community comes together to cheer on their local heroes. It's about celebrating victories together, offering a shoulder to cry on during tough times, and knowing that you're never truly alone. Now, before we get carried away by this idyllic vision of Irish life, it's important to acknowledge the challenges facing the Emerald Isle. Because while Ireland has undoubtedly achieved remarkable economic success, that prosperity has come at a price. The cost of living in Ireland, particularly in cities like Dublin, has skyrocketed in recent years. Housing, once affordable, has become a major source of stress for many, with soaring rents and a shortage of affordable options. This housing crisis is casting a shadow over the Celtic Tiger's roar, making it increasingly difficult for young people to make ends meet, let alone put down roots and build a future. It's a stark reminder that economic growth doesn't always translate into a better quality of life for everyone. The rising cost of living is also putting a strain on Ireland's social fabric, as traditional communities are priced out of their neighbourhoods and the gap between rich and poor widens. It's a challenge that Ireland must address if it wants to ensure that its prosperity benefits all its citizens. The Irish government is acutely aware of these challenges and is taking steps to address them, investing in affordable housing initiatives and social welfare programmes. But it's a complex issue with no easy solutions, requiring a multifaceted approach and a commitment to ensuring that everyone has the opportunity to share in Ireland's success. Despite these challenges, the Irish haven't lost their ability to find hope and humour in the face of adversity. It's a nation of storytellers, after all, and a deep well of resilience runs through their veins. From the Great Famine to the fight for independence, the Irish have known their fair share of hardship. But through it all, they've retained a sense of optimism, a belief that things will eventually get better, and an ability to find humour in even the darkest of times. It's a spirit embodied in their music, their literature, and their everyday conversations. It's the self-deprecating joke, the witty observation, the ability to find a silver lining even when it seems like the rain will never stop. This ability to laugh at themselves, to find humour in adversity, is a powerful coping mechanism, a way of processing difficult emotions and maintaining perspective. It's a reminder that even when times are tough, there's always a reason to smile. This enduring spirit of hope and humour is perhaps Ireland's greatest asset. It's what has seen them through tough times in the past, and it's what will continue to sustain them as they navigate the challenges of the future. Because in the end, the Irish understand that life is a journey, full of ups and downs, twists and turns. And sometimes the best way to navigate those challenges is with a smile on your face and a good story to tell. So there you have it, folks, Ireland's story. A tale of economic booms and housing busts, of tech giants and community spirit, of finding the crack amidst the chaos. It's a story that challenges the very notion of success, reminding us that true prosperity is measured not just in GDP growth and corporate profits, but in the well-being of a nation's people. Yes, Ireland faces its share of challenges. The housing crisis is a real buzzkill. Inequality casts a shadow over the Celtic tiger's roar, and navigating the ever-shifting sands of the global economy is no easy feat. But amidst these challenges, there's a resilience, a sense of community, and a sheer zest for life that's hard not to admire. The Irish have a knack for finding the bright side, for turning adversity into a good story, for reminding us that even when times are tough, there's always a reason to raise a glass of Guinness, preferably, and share a laugh. Perhaps that's the true luck of the Irish, not some magical pot of gold at the end of a rainbow, but a deep-rooted belief in the power of community, the importance of laughter, and the enduring spirit of hope that sees them through thick and thin. But we're not done yet, folks. This isn't just a one-way monologue. We want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on Ireland's journey? Have you experienced the famed Irish hospitality firsthand? What lessons do you think other countries can learn from Ireland's successes and challenges? Head down to the comments section below and share your thoughts. Let's keep the crack alive and continue the conversation. And hey, while you're at it, why not give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more insightful and hopefully entertaining deep dives into the complexities of our world. Until next time, Slainte.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of Luxembourg? Yeah, you heard that right. Don't worry, I'm just as surprised as you are to be talking about it. But trust me, this tiny nation is an economic powerhouse. We're talking about the highest GDP per capita in the world. That's right, higher than Switzerland, higher than Norway, even higher than those oil-rich sheikdoms you see on Instagram. So, how did this tiny country, often mistaken for a city in Belgium, become such an economic rock star? Well, it's a tale of smart policies, strategic investments, and maybe a little bit of luck. We'll be exploring Luxembourg's unique political ideology, which somehow manages to balance free market capitalism with robust social welfare programs. It's like the Bernie Sanders of Europe, but with better tax breaks. Section 2, From Steel to Stocks. It's more interesting than it sounds. Luxembourg's journey to economic dominance wasn't always paved with gold, or, well, euros. It started with a much less glamorous industry steel. Yes, the tiny nation was once a hub for steel production, but like a phoenix rising from the ashes, or more accurately like a banker emerging from a pile of molten metal, Luxembourg reinvented itself. It transitioned from a manufacturing-based economy to a financial powerhouse, attracting banks, investment firms, and multinational companies like bees to honey. And let's be real, those bees are probably attracted to the honey-glazed ham they eat in Luxembourg, but I digress. The point is, Luxembourg's economic transformation is a story worth telling. We'll delve into the specific technologies and innovations driving its continued success, from fintech to space mining. Yes, you heard that right. Space mining. Section 1. The Steel Age. No, not the Marvel movie. Picture Luxembourg in the 19th century, not exactly a financial hub. More like a hub for, well, hubs. Wagon wheels, to be exact. See, Luxembourg was rich in iron ore, the key ingredient in steel. And guess what they needed to make all those wagon wheels for a rapidly industrializing Europe? You got it? Steel. This steel boom put Luxembourg on the map, literally and economically. But like a heavy metal band after a world tour, Luxembourg knew it couldn't keep headbanging forever. The steel industry was volatile, and relying on one industry is like relying on your friend who says they'll pay you back eventually. It's risky. So, Luxembourg started diversifying its economy, like a responsible investor putting their money in more than just their cousin's Etsy shop. The government made strategic investments in infrastructure and education, laying the groundwork for a more knowledge-based economy. Think of it as Luxembourg, trading in its steel-toed boots for a nice pair of loafers. Stylish and practical. Section 2, banks, taxes, and a whole lot of money. Now let's talk about the B word, banks. In the 1960s and 70s, Luxembourg decided to roll out the red carpet, or should we say, the red account statement for international banks. They lowered taxes, eased regulations, and basically said, come on in, the financial water's fine. And come in they did. Banks flocked to Luxembourg like pigeons to a freshly dropped baguette, because, you know, Europe. This influx of financial institutions transformed Luxembourg from a steel town to a financial hub, a place where money went to make even more money. Now that's what we call a glow-up. But before you start picturing shady backroom deals and suitcases full of unmarked bills, it's important to note, Luxembourg plays by the rules. Well, mostly. They've worked hard to shed their image as a tax haven, implementing stricter transparency regulations, and cooperating with international efforts to combat tax evasion. Think of it as Luxembourg cleaning up its act, or at least hiring a really good PR team. So why Luxembourg? Why not, say, Liechtenstein? Well, for starters, Luxembourg's got location on its side. Nestled between Germany, France, and Belgium, it's basically the heart of Europe. It's like the studio apartment you find that's somehow walking distance to everything. This strategic location made Luxembourg an ideal hub for businesses looking to access the European market. But let's not forget those sweet, sweet tax breaks. Luxembourg's low corporate tax rates, especially compared to its neighbors, made it a magnet for multinational companies looking to, shall we say, optimize their tax burden. It's like finding a loophole in the system, except it's not a loophole, it's just Luxembourg. This combination of factors, prime location, favorable tax policies, and a stable political environment, created the perfect storm for economic growth. Luxembourg transformed itself from a small industrial nation to a global financial powerhouse, all without discovering oil or becoming a tech giant yet. But that, my friends, is a story for another act. Now you might be thinking, hold on, a financial hub with low taxes and a business-friendly environment? That sounds like a recipe for rampant inequality and a society where the rich get richer and everyone else just gets a participation trophy. And you wouldn't be entirely wrong to think that. It's a tale as old as time, or at least as old as the invention of money. But here's where Luxembourg throws a wrench in the gears of that tired old narrative. Despite its capitalist leanings, Luxembourg has managed to create a society that's surprisingly egalitarian. It's like finding out your Wall Street banker neighbor also volunteers at a soup kitchen on weekends. It's unexpected but kind of heartwarming. How do they do it? Well, it's all about finding a balance, a delicate dance between free market principles and a strong social safety net. Think of it as a waltz, but instead of fancy dresses and waltzing shoes, it's corporate tax breaks and universal health care. Remember those high taxes we talked about earlier? Well, they're not just going into some government official's secret offshore account. Luxembourg invests heavily in its people, providing free healthcare, free education, yes, even university, and generous social welfare programs. It's enough to make a Scandinavian country blush. Now, before you pack your bags and book a one-way ticket to Luxembourg, it's important to note that this system isn't without its critics. Some argue that the high taxes stifle innovation and discourage entrepreneurship. Others point out that the cost of living in Luxembourg is, well, let's just say you better have a well-paying job, preferably in finance. But for the most part, Luxembourg's model seems to be working. It boasts a high standard of living, low crime rates, and a generally content population. It's like the Switzerland of social welfare, but with less neutrality and more delicious pastries. Section 3. The tricky balancing act, keeping businesses and workers happy. How does Luxembourg keep both businesses and workers happy? It's like walking a tightrope, juggling tax breaks and social programs. Social dialogue is key. Government, businesses, and trade unions collaborate. It's like a group project where everyone contributes. Education and skills development are crucial. Luxembourg invests in its workforce for global competition. This creates a virtuous cycle of growth and welfare. It's the power of good economic policy. Section 1. Luxembourg, the final frontier of finance and space tech. Okay, so we've established that Luxembourg is an economic powerhouse with a knack for balancing capitalism and social welfare. But what about the future? Well, Luxembourg isn't just resting on its laurels or its piles of money. They're looking ahead, investing in cutting-edge technologies that sound like they're straight out of a science fiction novel. We're talking about fintech, space mining, and digital infrastructure that would make even the most tech-savvy among us go, wait, Luxembourg is doing what? It's like finding out your grandparents are secretly cryptocurrency traders. Unexpected, but also kind of impressive. So buckle up because we're about to blast off into the future of Luxembourg, where the sky's the limit, literally, because they're also planning to mine asteroids. Yes, you heard that right. Asteroids. Section 2, Fintech Frenzy, moving money at the speed of Luxembourg, which is pretty fast. Remember all those banks that flock to Luxembourg like pigeons to a freshly baked croissant? Because, again, Europe. Well, they're not just sitting around counting their euros anymore. Luxembourg has become a hotbed for fintech innovation, attracting startups and established companies alike. We're talking about mobile payments, blockchain technology, and online lending platforms that make traditional banking look like using a rotary phone. Luxembourg is embracing the digital revolution, creating a regulatory environment that's both supportive and forward-thinking. It's like they're trying to make financial transactions as easy and efficient as ordering takeout on your phone, which, let's be honest, is the dream. And it's not just about making things easier for consumers. Luxembourg's fintech sector is also attracting major players in the financial industry who are setting up shop in Luxembourg to take advantage of the country's expertise and innovation. It's a win-win situation, or as they say in Luxembourg, tout le monde y gagne. That's French for everyone wins because, well, Luxembourg. Space mining. Because why mine on Earth when you can mine asteroids? Luxembourg is aiming for the stars with its ambitious plans for space mining. They're sending robots to asteroids to extract valuable resources like platinum, gold, and water. Asteroids are floating treasure chests of rare earth elements and precious metals. Luxembourg wants to lead this new space race. It's like the California gold rush, but in space. From space rocks to Silicon Valley, Luxembourg's tech ambitions. So, we've talked about fintech and space mining, but Luxembourg's tech ambitions don't stop there. They're not just dabbling in the tech world, they're diving in head first, like a banker jumping into a pool of money, hopefully wearing a swimsuit this time. They're investing heavily in research and development, attracting top talent from around the world, and creating a supportive ecosystem for startups and established tech companies alike. Think of it as Luxembourg building its own Silicon Valley, but with less avocado toast and more, well, Luxembourgish things, whatever those may be. They're focusing on areas like artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and data analytics, positioning themselves at the forefront of the digital economy. It's like they're playing a high-stakes game of tech chess, and they're making all the right moves. Education, innovation, and a whole lot of startups. Luxembourg's tech success is driven by its commitment to education. A skilled workforce is essential for innovation and global competition. Teach a man to code, and he'll create the next billion-dollar app. Luxembourg invests heavily in education, from primary school to university. They offer extensive STEM programs to thrive in the digital age. Luxembourg is also a hub for entrepreneurship with a thriving startup ecosystem. So, what does the future hold for Luxembourg? Well, if their track record is anything to go by, it's going to be bright, like really bright, like You might need sunglasses to look at it bright. They're a small country with big ambitions, and they're not afraid to take risks, embrace innovation, and invest in their future. They're like the little engine that could, but instead of chugging up a hill, they're launching themselves into the stratosphere of economic and technological dominance. Luxembourg is proving that size isn't everything. What matters is having a clear vision, a willingness to adapt, and a commitment to creating a society that benefits everyone. And of course, it doesn't hurt to have a few billion euros lying around to invest in cutting-edge technologies. So, the next time you hear someone say, Luxembourg, where's that? You can impress them with your newfound knowledge of this tiny but mighty nation that's punching way above its weight class in the global arena. So, there you have it. The story of Luxembourg. A country smaller than Rhode Island with a population that could fit in your average city, yet somehow, it's an economic titan. They've got more money per person than a trust fund kid who just discovered their love for cryptocurrency. How did they do it? Well, it's a combination of factors. Smart economic policies, strategic investments, a favorable location, and maybe a few tax breaks sprinkled in for good measure. But it's also about more than just money. Luxembourg has managed to create a society that's both prosperous and equitable, proving that you don't have to choose between capitalism and social welfare. You can have your cake and eat it too. And by cake, I mean universal healthcare and a top-notch education system.
I'm not a writer.
Not every country can copy Luxembourg's model and expect the same results, but there are valuable lessons to learn. First, be adaptable. Luxembourg evolved from steel to finance to fintech and space tech. Second, invest in your people. Education and training are key. Third, collaboration is essential. Government, businesses, and trade unions work together. So there you have it. Luxembourg, the little country that could, and did. They've shown the world that it's possible to be small but mighty, wealthy but equitable, and a leader in both finance and space exploration. Who knows what amazing things they'll accomplish next? Maybe they'll become the first nation to colonize Mars, or perhaps they'll invent a self-driving waffle iron. The possibilities are endless. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the fascinating world of Luxembourg, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more informative and hopefully entertaining videos about, well, everything. And, hey, while you're at it, why not leave a comment below telling us what you found most surprising about Luxembourg? Did you know about their space mining ambitions, or their love of fintech? Or maybe you just want to share your favorite Luxembourgish word? Personally, I'm a big fan of moyen, which means hello. It's simple yet elegant, just like Luxembourg itself.